how determined your team was from the puck drop tonight?
Yeah, we recognize this as a special moment for this building, and guys understood the magnitude of this game, the importance of the game, and this is a group that's very easy to, you don't have to say too many things. You just have to give them little reminders here and there. But they're really a solid veteran group. They understand the moments, and this was a moment for them. And our crowd, and it was what a great atmosphere. I was saying just before we came on here, it was deafening, and I couldn't hear anything out there. I had some white noise for a while there, so that's fantastic. What an atmosphere!
Art Staple, The Athletic.
Barry, just to be able to play your best game in a closeout game, I think for the second straight series, what does that say about kind of the mental toughness that your group has carried into these playoffs?
Well, I think it's a lot of, it says a lot. We know that you got to have your best game. I look back even last year, game 7 against Philadelphia would have been our as good a game we've played in a closeout game, and we knew we had to do that. So I think those experiences, I keep coming back to experiences, because that's what allows you to have success, to understand the moment. And we don't get too far in front of the moment. We weren't even thinking about Boston. We were just thinking about the next shift. And that was a great focus of our team today.
Good, Arthur.
I know we talked about it the other day, but Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac, their ability to kind of get assimilated, and now, in this game kind of lead a little bit too with their intensity. What does that say about those two guys and their ability to kind of be in the moment for you with a relatively new team?
I think it says a lot about them as, not only as hockey players, but more about people. They have assimilated with this group very, very well. They've got great personalities. They've got great professionalism. And honestly, I said to the coaching staff, I think they're having a ball right now. They missed the playoffs. They missed that intensity. And they're a part of it right now, and they're a big part of it. So I think they're having a blast.
Molly Walker, New York Post.
Barry, Brock said you said in the locker room that you'll remember moments like this forever. Could you just give us some more insight into what the mood in the locker room is right now, and what was going on when you went in there? What else did you say?
Well, I think the mood is obviously it's good because we won a series, but I talked to him. I said, this building, and during your career, when your career is all done, you're going to remember those special moments when you win a series and hopefully win a Stanley Cup, and there's going to be special moments along the way, and we can make this a special moment, by winning a series in the building. It'll be our second one that we've done in this building, and try to take the next step. And really, there's obviously there's a few more teams left, but there's going to be 4 teams left playing, and all the other ones, the 27 other teams, they're wishing that they had this opportunity that we have. So we're going to enjoy the moment. And then we'll get back to work.
Go ahead, Molly.
And would you say this was one of Nick Leddy's best games of the postseason so far?
Yeah, Leds was really good. I thought he was really, really solid. He made a great play on that 2-on-1. He skated. I thought he was firm when Nick is skating, and he's firm like that. He's a difference maker. But we had I can go up and down our lineup. We had a lot of great performances tonight by a lot of people tonight.
Brian Compton, NHL.com.
Barry, how big was that save by Varley on Charlie Coyle there in the second period when it was a 2-1 game, and then Brock scores a minute later? Thanks.
Yeah, well, it was huge. It was I think Bergie had a good look too. So that's huge, especially second period. That's been a good period for us in this series, and you get a big save. How many times do you see that? A big save and you go down and score. So, Varley was solid for us. Wasn't as worked over as he was in Boston, but he was solid. And then we capitalized on and transitioned out of that really well.
Christian Arnold, New York Hockey Now.
Barry, when it comes to the additions you guys have made over the last 2 years, Pajot and Andy Green last year, now Zajac and Kyle this year, what does it just say about Lou's ability to understand what the team needs in the moment and get that to you so that you can create these moments in the playoffs like you have the last 2 years?
Well, Lou's won a few cups, and I think that his knowledge over the time that he's been in the league, he's a learned guy, and he has seen a number of things. I love listening to and talking with Lou. We talk daily, and he understands building a roster. There would be a player A and player B, and the values that a lot of people might put on a certain player. Because it's the sexy thing to do. He understands the intrinsic value of a player in tough games and in the locker room and as a teammate and as a pro and all the stuff that you really don't put a lot of numbers to. Everything that he does has a lot of is very thorough and very has substance to it. It's just not just not lacy, fancy stuff. It's real stuff, and he puts a lot of value into that.
Tom Galiti, NHL.com.
Barry, a couple of guys mentioned earlier about having unfinished business and with your next opponent. I don't know how much you focused on that, but has that kind of been a motivation to get back to this round and get another shot at it?
No, we've talked zero about Tampa Bay. Zero. And we just, we start out this journey to beat Pittsburgh. We start out, and then we were able to do that, and then we focused in on Boston, and we get a shot to go against the champs again. So they're great. I just watched them close out Carolina. That's a good hockey team right now, and very dangerous power play. Obviously, they're hitting about 50%, I think it seems like. So, and they've got superstar power, just as Boston does. That they've got a few lines that can hurt you, and they're Vezina type goaltender. Their defense is extremely deep, and their forwards are extremely deep. So this will be a huge challenge for us, but we'll try to dissect it and see what we can do.
Andrew Gross, Newsday.
Hey, Barry, obviously it's what good teams do in the playoffs, but what kind of factor do you think the way it seemed like you physically wore down the Bruins as the series wore on a little bit? How much of a factor was that in what just happened?
Well, I think it was a factor. I think we stayed on top. We hung in there, and it was a physical series. I mean, they're a physical hockey team. We're a physical hockey team. We were just, going nose to nose. It's like you get enough hits in, you get enough punches in, like a fighter does. You take so many body blows and shots to the head as a fighter, you get worn down. And I think, using that an analogy is that we just tried to stay on top of them, tried to force them to, come 200 feet, try to do a lot of different things that wore them down. And they had to chase the last couple games, and, that they had to play their top guys a lot. And we tried to just, try to stay with them, and our guys did.
Alan Craig, New York Times.
All right, we started the season in an empty Coliseum with no fans. And tonight you have a night like this, the decibel levels rising. Did you take a moment to just look around and appreciate that in some waning seconds?
Yeah, no, I have. We were just saying, we started this journey with a, we didn't have a big break coming out of the bubble, and started this journey, and it's been a grind, and it's starting to pay off. I think every player in the league that's still playing will tell you that it's paying off, because it's been hard for these teams that have no one in the building. You get excited. It's society has been missing. We're people. We want interaction. That's the way our DNA is. And now that we're having the interaction with the fans, the atmosphere, the energy, it's been worth it. And it's been a good ride through the season because it's been a grind. And I have every player that's played this year in the league, I have a lot of respect for because it has been a grind for them.
Joe Pantorno, AM New York.
Barry, at this point, is there any way that you could explain just how Brock Nelson comes up big in these big moments? Thanks.
Just Brock.
I have no idea what he said.
Joe, try it again, Joe.
You broke. Can you just ask the question again? You just broke up a number of times.
Yeah, sorry. Just, is there any way you can explain at this point just how Brock Nelson's been able to come up so big in these big situations? Thanks.
Yeah, I think today, people don't know Brock just had a child the other day, him and his wife. And so he's been dealing with that. He played game four. Game four, his wife had a baby. I think it was 12:30 in the afternoon or 5, and he played that night with no sleep. Said, I'm in the lineup, and he's been battling through that. Came to Boston, spent some time. We got him into Boston late that night, played that game. And I think today you saw him fresh and happy to have a new child with his wife and having the wife home and all that. I just think he settled in and played a Brock Nelson game.
Last one here, Jerry Beach.
Hey, Barry, kind of follow up on Alan's question. Is this second straight deep run and second straight trip to the semifinals a little more meaningful because you get to have nights like this and you get to what was missing, get to experience some things that you obviously couldn't nights like this last summer?
Yeah, I think, that's a good question. It wasn't a motivating factor or anything, but it is something that we said, hey, we know we're a good hockey team. We can take it, as deep as we can. And there's a lot of pride in doing that. And I think as we started having fans, the value of that, getting those and experiencing that, which we did miss out, and Tampa won a cup with no fans. I mean, that was, that could be their motivation. But I know the fans of give us the energy to say, hey, this is fun. Let's keep going and see how far we can take this. So I think it's worth it because of the fans. And last year was a great experience. One that I said to the players, you'll remember forever because you were basically in a dorm for 2 months. And we did some things that some players had never, got past, really a round or 2 rounds. And, finding out it is a different sort of mentality that you have to have. And they enjoyed the experience, even though it was very grueling. And I think this experience this year has been similar. But as we've started to have fans in and having our lives come back to normal through everybody getting vaccinated and all that, it's giving it a lot more meaning for sure. It's reinforcing that experience that we had last year, plus the fans now. So it's a great feeling.